I want to bring Manash in on this. Exactly the point that you made, that it was a political project of the BJP and the RSS Sangh Parivar. They worked there for many decades while not being in political power in the northeast. Manash, what explains the BJP's laser-like focus and of course the RSS's focus on the northeast and integrating the tribal communities, integrating the communities of the northeast into the mainstream India?
Well, Northeast is, as you know, having almost most of the area's land is covered by tribal people.
Yes.
And every tribal has their, own some regulations, their own rule book. It's there. But if we see the whole area was getting disconnected.
Right.
So when we see the, as you asked me, when we see the BJP has a long-term plan for Northeast, and which is coming, we are able to see right now. And it has connected not only politically, but culturally also. The people of Northeast has connected with the mainstream India right now.
Right.
People now understand that how Prime Minister Modi is loving the people of Northeast, and he is himself monitoring each and every project.
Yes.
So that Northeast is connected with the rest of the Asian countries and with the our mainland countries.
Right, absolutely.
So this is a small plan. This is a very big plan, as our honorable other guests are also acknowledging the thing. It's a long-term plan, and in the coming days, you'll see Northeast will be the hub for the, it will be one of the major hubs for business areas in the whole country.
Right, absolutely. On the 9th of March, the Prime Minister will inaugurate the Selar Tunnel, which is the world's largest, it's the world's highest bi-lane tunnel. It's located at 14,000 feet. It will help the Indian Army rush troops and supplies to Tawang through all weather conditions. In fact, my colleague Nivriti Mohan traveled there to get an exclusive look at the Selar Tunnel, and she spoke with the engineers who built this incredible miracle of civil engineering. Download the News9 Plus app and watch our exclusive story by Nivriti Mohan.
Selar, the longest bi-lane tunnel in the world at 13,000 feet, ensures all-weather connectivity to the line of actual control. Faster movement of troops to the borders connects India's mainland to strategically important Tawang sector. Built in Arunachal in territory once occupied by China in 1962, the tunnel is giving sleepless nights to India's hostile neighbor.
This tunnel and many other such projects, a better sustenance capability both for the civilians in this area as well as for the military.
During the winters, it becomes a formidable obstacle for the traffic to go over the Selar Pass.
The Selar Tunnel is around 30 to 40 kilometers aerial distance from the border, quite in a close proximity to the border, I would say.
Kartikeya, while we are on the Selar Tunnel, there is also this issue of the springboard of the northeast into Myanmar and to the ASEAN countries, as the panelists were mentioning. But the troubles in Myanmar seem to have blocked our access to the ASEAN countries. How much of a challenge is that?
Yeah, I think it's a big challenge. In one of the discussions, when Rami was participating with me on Manipur,
yeah,
I recall that there was a discussion, because if you look at the geography of Northeast, because the gentleman very rightly said the revenge of the geography, Kaplan.
Yeah.
The northeastern markets are traditionally, we don't imagine them from the context of Chittagong track and
yes,
Cox's Bazar.
It was all part integrated actually.
It was an integrated
yes,
market. So I think with the Kaladan project,
yeah,
the problem which you are referring to, which
yes,
goes through More,
right,
I think we need to reimagine that corridor from Cox's Bazar, which is now
yes,
slightly problematic because of the Rohingya influx,
right,
and Chittagong track. That's the Tripura route which the government of India will have to take. It will be easier, far more integrated. So we'll have to reimagine the geography. And anyway, we have very good terms with Bangladesh. So I don't think it should be a problem. But it's an issue. Do we want to do this? How do we do this? Is it as profitable as the Moreh corridor would have been connecting Myanmar, and with the civil war in Myanmar,
Right.
I'm sure nothing is going to happen for next 2 decades.
Right. In fact, Kartikeya did this interview with Tuhin Sinha and Aditya Pitti, who've edited a book, Modi's Northeast Story. Essays by Himanta Biswa, Kiran Rijiju and Pema Khandu are part of this book. Let's listen into an excerpt of that interview.
What made you edit this book, Modi's Northeast Story? What prompted you?
Well, as Prime Minister Modi completes 10 years in office, definitely the positive transformation of our northeastern states is one of the biggest achievements of Modi government. And I think we have completely done away with the alibi which Congress used to employ every now and then, called the tyranny of distance. So I think, today there is a seamless cohesion between Northeast and the rest of the country. Capex spend of more than 4 lakh crores in the last 10 years in development of infrastructure in the Northeast, wherein the total number of airports have gone up from 8 to 17, where the total stretch of national highways have gone up by nearly 50% or probably beyond that. And we have rail connectivity right up to Arunachal and parts of Manipur and large swathes of Nagaland. In fact, that explains the massive changes, because that has not merely bridged the infrastructural gaps, that has also done away with the cultural, that has also brought about a huge cultural unison, because I think 3 particular episodes from the past had left a scar upon the people of Northeast. One was in 1962, where Nehru virtually abdicated his responsibility by saying, "My heart goes out to the people of Assam." Nefa, a particular district in Arunachal, which was then NEFA, Northeastern Frontier Agency, when it was being taken over by Chinese, he very callously said, "My heart goes out to the people of Northeast," and that had left a scar upon the people for many years. Then obviously there was the bombing of Mizoram in 1965, the Nelai massacre of 1984. All of these had left a huge scar, which today stands completely done away with.
Anurag, finally, how long is this semiconductor plant in Assam going to take to come up, and how much of a significant game changer is it going to be for India's semiconductor thrust?
Sandeep, let me give you a couple of pointers. Firstly, if you look at Assam and you look at the state GDP and the industries, contributing to the state GDP, I think it's 30% last year, which is increasing steadily.
Right.
This plant is going to be looking at 15,000 direct jobs and nearly 16,000 indirect jobs. Can you imagine the scale of employment that it is going to be generating? When you're looking at TSAT, it is looking at 27,000 crore investment. Basically, it is one big ticket which will catalyze the most of the MSMEs in the country. The backbone of this country is the MSME.
Yep.
You catalyze MSME and you see the magic. This is the prowess of this country. Then look at the other paradigm of Industry 4.0 revolution in the state. There will be socio-economic issues. I mean, I also must put it on record. I was with somebody the other day who's a very senior man in Tata Electronics, and he happened to tell me about the Tata Electronics plant in Krishnagiri. I was so amazed to hear that nearly 70 to 75% of the workforce in that plant, which is looking at critical electronics, is women.
Right.
Most of them are tribal women who have got empowered in a manner which is transformational. You can't even imagine. The same thing will happen here. Look at that. And then, we also must not whisk away the PSMC. The Taiwanese behemoth, which is, joining hands with the Tatas, which is as it is a very, very important entity in India. As of 2020, it was the 7th largest foundry in the world. And this is the first time PSMC is coming out of Taiwan to make such a foray and establishing something as a joint venture with somebody, especially in India. And this is a company, when you look at PSMC, I will not go into statistics of the market share and so on and so forth, but it's a very, very big supplier to automotive segment. And the Indian automotive industry, how large it is. It is the 2nd or 3rd largest in the world, and the way it's going is, I think, it's moving by leaps and bounds.
Right.
And no points for guessing. Maybe Tesla is around the corner. So there's a lot of things. There are a lot of things which may take place as time goes by. So
as time goes by,
big
exactly.
Foray into
into semiconductors.
Yes, a big foray into the automotive market, a big foray into the memory market, which is going to be a very, very big thing to happen of the world's a world-known company which has one of the 7th largest foundries in the world at Hsinchu in Taiwan. So I think all in all, an outstanding outreach and outstanding decision by the government of India.
Right.
And a game changer for the Northeast in terms of high technology.
Absolutely. A game changer for the Northeast in terms of high technology. Who would have imagined a semiconductor plant being set up in Assam? And that's what we're going to see in the days ahead. And of course, the Sela Tunnel, and that's among the many other transformational projects that we've seen in the last decade in India's Northeast. So thank you very much to my panelists for joining us this evening. Prime Minister Modi's Northeast Makeover, high on our agenda, news agenda for the next couple of days. Thank you for watching.
Streaming on News9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.